you. We are live on YouTube tonight. Excuse me 1 minute. I need to adjust camera angles. You don't want to see everything that's on that bed. I'm working on some projects right now, so we'll let you look at. Well, that looks terrible too. So hold up. Excuse me. This is the first time we've done this. So hold up. We're going to have some technical issues, but we'll get there. So welcome back. Today we are going to do a situational update. It's a new thing. I'm trying to make sure that we are live, which I'm not sure. Hold on, give me 1 moment. I just want to make sure we are recording and everything is working. It appears so. Yep, there I am. Yep, perfect. So, welcome back to the All Hazards Prepper. Blake here. Going to start doing situational updates a little bit differently. Usually, I'm going to do them on off weeks. So, the week that I'm off, I will do a situational update for you guys. And I'm going to try to do YouTube uploads. I've got several requests for people to, for more YouTube videos of myself. I'm going to work on a background. Excuse everything you see behind me. Yes, that is a cow head over here, over there. Yep. So we're going to work on this. But anyway, so situational update for the week. And then what I'm going to do is talk a little bit of something about a topic or, something that I've, seen questions on or something like that. So excuse me, this is my first YouTube live, all that. I don't know how to know if anyone has joined. And if anyone has, just comment below. Does not appear. Okay, so we have a way to do that. Okay, so we have a way to see. Perfect. Okay, so this update, and we got short amount of time because I got an interview in 30 minutes with the preparedness guy who's going to be on in a few weeks on the show. Super excited to have him on. So updates for this week. We'll start with natural hazards. We'll work our way into the man-made, the current events type of stuff. Natural disasters types, updates. We are in hurricane season still. Yes, it's still hurricane season until, November. That's really the end of hurricane season. But we are really in that, what I'll call a peak season. Part of the, really reach the top of getting towards that top of the peak. So we, have seen a couple storms develop. I've seen one or two come up the coast here on East Carolina, or the eastern, seaboard. And really, the last one, Debbie, was the most, significant one. We dealt with Ernesto last week, but that was more of a fish storm, but did affect some of the islands in Bermuda. So it's important to stay hurricane prepared. Stay prepared for, keeping your preps up. If you ate your hurricane snacks, maybe go buy some new hurricane snacks. That might be good. Let me adjust my mic, make sure you're getting good audio. But making sure you go, keeping those preps up, staying aware, checking out your local National Weather Service office or your local meteorologist news station. Make sure you're following trusted news sources and all of that. So next update is going to be, wildfires. We are in what I would also call kind of getting into peak wildfire season. There's no true wildfire season here in the United States, but they're, whenever it's dry, whenever those environmental conditions are right, and if you get a good fire going, then next thing you know, it's really impacted your community or community around you. So staying prepared. Excuse me. I don't know why there's a line running through it. But making sure you're staying prepared for that if you live in a wildfire prone area. Even if you don't, I mean, a fire could occur at any time. If you go out and just, think you're going to light a brush fire or, burn, the little pile that's from storm damage or something, and then it's dry, and next thing you know, the wind picks up, and, next thing you know, your yard's on fire. As a firefighter, former firefighter, I see that happen one too many times where we show up and they go, oh, well, I thought I was fine. But no, the wind and the environmental conditions were there to, light your yard on fire. So making sure you stay aware that way. If you live in a wildfire prone area, if you live in a state out west, really, or the mountains where you're going to see wildfires more often, bigger, events, making sure that you have a plan, having an evacuation route, making sure you have a defensible space around your home, that 30 foot, of clear debris, leaves, anything that could burn really and making sure that you really just have a plan, making sure you know your evacuation routes and all of that. So, other things that were going on in the world, we got are on in the weather community, more natural disasters, flooding up north, the Connecticut and places like that really saw some significant flooding this past week. And that really caused a lot of damage. I watched one video where there was a home near a river and it just collapsed from the bottom from the flood waters. And next thing you know, the home was going downstream. So making sure you understand the impacts of flooding in your community is big. If an inch of rain or half an inch of rain or, more than 2 or 3, knowing that, what triggers flooding in certain areas, especially if you own, property and, really knowing what's going to trigger a flooding event. So making sure you stay aware that way, and making sure that you understand that sometimes these little pop up storms can come through the community and just sit, and next thing you know, we're seeing flash flood warnings or aerial flood warnings or advisories out or flash flood watches, things like that. It just really can quickly change in a matter of minutes, depending on how the system sets up and all of that. So, update that is kind of what I got for natural stuff. Moving on to what we would call man-made or technological or current events. I really, I try not to get political here. I'm not political on here. This is a political podcast show, whatever you want to call it. I really want people to know that we are in election season. There are campaigns going on. There's politicians or candidates visiting a lot of cities around the U.S. right now, towns, even small towns, and it's important to know when they're coming. If you're going to attend, sure, that's great. Making sure you stay situationally aware. But even if you're not, knowing that the town's going to be affected, the city's going to be affected by road closures or detours and stuff like that. So if you have a campaign coming, making sure you check out your news that morning or that the day before. Really making sure if you travel into the city or into a town or something, how to detour and get around it, plan some extra time. And staying situationally aware. If you're seeing something, saying something to local authorities, especially on social media. If you're seeing something suspicious on social media, go ahead and report it. I know law enforcement rather investigate and determine it to be nothing than anything at all. So that's kind of and then the next thing that I'm seeing is the technological hazards. We've seen over the past couple years, hacker groups, spy groups, whatever you want to call them, different countries try to infiltrate, U.S. cyber systems, especially during election season, but really all year round. So making sure you're using strong passwords, not using the word password as your password. Making sure keeping good internet safety, not visiting random sites that are probably linked to things that can track you, or use your information. Putting good software on your computer or your phone. It's nothing that's going to scam you or whatever. And at work, especially if you work in healthcare or in governmental or business or anything, any work really, making sure you fall under cyber policies and cybersecurity trainings and stuff like that. Those are there to protect you and protect the company from getting hacked or getting exposed or something like that. So anyway, that's our update for this week. Try to keep updates less than 10 minutes. And then we're going to move to the next topic. I've got a lot of questions recently on food supply. And it's a little tricky. Food supply is, you need air first. Everyone needs air. And then you need water, and then you need food. And water is pretty simple, to talk about and to get stocked up on. But really, food, we need to talk about what the time frame, a timeline on a disaster. So we're going to talk, the first day, to a week up to in that disaster. So let's use an example. Say there is a hurricane or a storm that comes through and knocks out your power, possibly knocks out your water, and internet, of course. If power's out, internet's out probably, as well, and it really disrupts it where the power company has so much overwhelmed that it's going to be 3 days to a week where you're out power. and you have to survive. And the grocery store is closed because it's a disaster, or there's been a mass power outage and they've lost power. A lot of places I've seen nowadays, I always like to puke, look out back and see if there's a generator there at the place at the local grocery store, but many don't. So making sure we're talking about this. So if we're in one of these little disasters, we'll call it, or not little disasters, but we're in this time frame of 3 days to a week, and we need food. We need to talk about rotating food. So these are the food that you eat every day. If you're fixing for dinner or lunch, rice, beans, pastas, things like that, non-perishable items. So if you eat black beans 1-2 times a week for a meal, go to Sam's, go to Costco, BJ's, whatever your membership store is, and go and buy a bulk of beans instead of going to the grocery store for the 1 week and just buying the one can of beans that you need. Stock up on those items that you use, pastas and sauces and stuff like that. And then from there, once you kind of get a stockpile, then you can use that stockpile because it's going to expire. That food expires, pretty quickly sometimes. And really, once you're a little bit low, or you're out, going and restocking that. So that way, for that 3 day or 72 hours or a week disaster, you really have food that you like to eat during the disaster. Of course, if the power is out and you have an electric stove, you really need to think about that as well. Having a camp stove, propane, grills are great. Having a fire is great, but not all disasters. It could be raining outside. It could be wet. It could be where you just can't be outside. You need to have like an indoor grill, or a grill that you can use kind of in a shelter, like a propane grill or something. I have a little propane one that I can use on a balcony, and heat up water to heat up food or whatever, and all of that. So really, when I talk about rotating food, it's really rotating what you eat. Having stockpile or a bulk of what you eat on a normal basis. If you have kids, make sure you're planning around them too. Some kids are picky and don't eat all everything, and making sure that you have some resources for them, some mac and cheese or whatever your child likes, and all of that. So that's important. Now let's talk about the week to 2 weeks to the SHTF situation where food is out. Grocery stores are closed; they're out. We are having major disaster within the community, within a state or region, that has caused a food shortage. Food supply has stopped. Supply chain is gone, or not gone, but really, or maybe gone, or maybe just really functioned. Their functions are really out. So this is where, excuse me, that long-term food storage is going to come into play. That's your Artisan Farms emergency food. I wish I could go and get my Artisan Farms right now and show you, but that emergency food that lasts 25 years, that comes in the bucket. Go check out Artisan Farms. They got everything you need in terms of emergency food, from little packs to big packs, to different dry goods, freeze dried foods. So make sure you go check them out. So it's that type of food. MREs, they're good to have. I like them in bug out bags where I don't want to carry all my cooking stuff. I carry water, and they have most of the MREs have heaters in them, unless it doesn't require it. And those as well, but they don't last as long as like the emergency food buckets. And then also Mylar bagging, rice, beans, pastas, sugars, salts, coffee, anything like that. I really got into that, and I have a whole bin of Mylar bagged, stuff like that. And it's simple to do. If you buy rice from Walmart in a little bag that's kind of thin, it's not going to last as long as it like in a Mylar bag. You might last a year or two in what Walmart sells, but in a Mylar bag, it could, I think rice can last up to 5 to 10 years, really. In like salt has, infinite lifespan. Some of this stuff could last very, very long time. Pastas as well, you can put them in Mylar bags. Want to be careful that you're not crushing everything, but small pastas you can put in there as well. And then putting those moisture wicking little tablets. They're like little bags, that you see that the people, when you buy clothes or, something comes in Amazon, it has a little, moisture wiki pack in it. And all of that. So making sure you use those types of things, having Mylar bag stuff is good as well for that long-term food storage. We're talking, week, 2 weeks, month, forever type of disaster where, food storage is done. And then, third option, this is like shit hit the fan, something bad has happened. Really, that's going back to hunter-gatherer stage. And that's what we kind of call in the prepping world hunter-gatherer stages, going out and hunting and gathering food, with your past, what you stockpile, what you have. You're really going out and fending for your own, but we hope we never get there. But most people, you need to start in that 3 day to week. So you need to have enough food for all your family. That's everyone that's in your household or everyone your, emergency plan depends on. And that is, having that 3 days, students starting with the 3 days of non-perishable food, to work your way to a week. And then once you get past a week, looking at some of those long-term food storage options, those Artisan Farms, MREs, the Mylar bagging, really like that. If you have a week worth of supply, even if you have 3 days of supply, that's going to get you through like 95% of the disasters that occur, maybe a little bit less, maybe 90. But really that's going to get you through, and you're going to be way ahead of the game. Making sure you have the water too, making sure you have enough. They say a gallon a day per person. I would go with 2, just because of bathing, hygiene, things like that. We'll do a whole nother thing on water at some point else, but really having that food is so important. Having, snacks too, things that don't go bad as fast, things that you could go buy, at the store. And having, don't let your pantry be empty all the time. I know a lot of people, especially in today's economy, live, and they, just get what they need for the week and that's it. Well, get a little extra too. Buy in bulk. It's cheaper. If you buy in bulk, it's so much cheaper. Me and my wife, when we got married, we went to Sam. Well, had been going to Walmart and just buying our normal supply, or for the week, or going to Lidl, or wherever we shop, and we then went to Sam's a couple of months into our marriage, and we're like, wow, you can buy one thing of Cheerios at Walmart is $6. 2 things of big box Cheerios is like $6. So I mean, it's amazing how much you can save by buying in bulk. A lot of people don't like to buy in bulk because they don't have the room. I will contest to that. That I live in an apartment and I have plenty of room. I can, yes, I don't have enough room to, really, really have like a crazy pantry or anything, but we really have done a good job of stockpiling. So I would definitely recommend having Sam's, Costco, BJ's, whatever your membership store is locally, type of deal. That way you can have good stockpiles of food and all of that. If you have any questions about food stockpiling, about buying food, let me know. Hit me up on email, theallhazardsprepper@gmail.com, or Facebook or Instagram, X, wherever else you want to find me at. And I'm happy to help you out. So that is our situational update for this week. Hope everyone enjoyed this week's episode. Next episode will be with Ashley Morris. She was on the show last night. We did the recording last night. A career emergency manager, meteorologist by degree, getting her PhD right now. It was super fun to talk with her. I always love geeking out with other emergency managers. And we're going to be doing that tonight with the preparedness guy as well. So super glad to have him on. Hope everyone has a great day. Stay safe out there. The All Hazards Prepper out.